Hello. Let's turn that music off. How are y'all doing tonight? Got on here sooner than I thought I would tonight. It's 9:15. Didn't think I'd get started till 9:30. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Let me know if that's too bright. I don't think so. I got this new light I've been working with tonight. Oh, my microphone. See, now there you go. Let me get that down here like this. There we go. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Looking forward to Friday tomorrow, TGIF, and all that good stuff. Hope everybody's had a good work week. So, Jennifer, right off the bat, first person in chat tonight, says the ratio of the chemical to water is weird with Crossfire. So, the way that they pretty much figure that you will mix it is you will fill half of a gallon container with water, pour your Crossfire in, and then mix it the rest of the way to equal a gallon. That is the easiest way to mix Crossfire. But if you're trying to mix it like a half of a gallon, it is a little harder because that half gallon mark, unless you have a half gallon container, you mix 6.5 ounces. So what you will do is you mix a quart, put a quart of water, a quarter gallon in there, and then you pour your Crossfire in, which is 6.5 ounces, and then you fill it the rest of the way to equal a half gallon. So it's a lot harder to mix it when you're using odd ratios. But I've mixed chemicals all my life. It's all I've ever done my entire life is mix pesticides, and so it's not usually very hard for me to do it. The hardest part is that Crossfire comes in those little bitty 13-ounce bottles, and unless you buy the gallon-sized jug where you can just pour it an ounce at a time, it's a lot harder to mix it. So I completely agree with you if you're trying to mix less than a gallon. The man in the motorcycle mask said, how can I get rid of those big carpenter ants? Are ant traps any good, or are the holes too small for them? Usually they can go in them. They have different size traps, like the taro, different ones like that they will get into the ant traps. But Alpine WSG is what I typically recommend for ants. If you go to my Amazon page, which I wanted to talk about first before I actually get into, I start my channel and Jennifer jumps in here and starts talking all right away, and so I jump right in and I start talking right away, and I miss all the shameless promotions that I do every single time I try that I never think about. But if you go to my Amazon page, this is where all of the links are below. Everything's below. But this is my Amazon page. So if you're watching this later, because I save all my VODs, you can go watch my live streams later. But this is my Amazon page with all the products I ever talk about. But if you go down to ant supplies right here, ant control. And so if you click that, and there's Alpine WSG there. Now, I haven't updated. Oh, I did update this list. So here are the packets. This is fantastic. So Alpine is something I've been using for ants for a long time, probably 7 years now, maybe 8 years. But if you go here and you click this, these are the packets. These come in 10-gram packets. It's a box of, I think it's 5 of them. So you can mix it based on the label. So some insects require 30 grams and some labels require 10 grams. It depends on what you're trying to eliminate. And so you've got 5 packets, so you can mix it a lot easier. It's a lot cheaper. You could get this 5 packets for $25, right, or $24.25, you know. But if you get the tall, the tall container of the Alpine, let's show you that here real quick. This tall one, this is like $162. So you're going to spend a lot more on this bottle of Alpine than you will on the little packets if you're just going to mix it yourself. Now, I buy the 500 grams because I'm an exterminator and I use it all the time. So I go through it pretty quickly. So I need a larger container. But for someone that's just doing this on their own, then you can easily get by with a lot cheaper. So I'm really glad they started to produce the packets. They haven't produced the packets in a long time, but they are really, really great. So I recommend those. But like I was saying, I have a TikTok. So go watch my TikToks. This is hilarious. I wish I could play these on stream for you guys. I really do. I like it. I mean, I know it's something I did myself, but it's funny. You got to go watch these. This one's really pretty funny. But anyway, I do some funny stuff like See, here's a filter one where it's supposed to make you look like a celebrity lookalike, and I did one of those. And this is a house that I did where they had ducks in the bathroom, and I filmed that. So with bed bugs and different things like that. So if you guys are interested in my TikTok, there it is. It's tiktok.com/GreenAkersPC, which that's in the description too. And then my YouTube channel, which you are here. If you're here and you're watching it, you need to go and subscribe to my channel right there. So, and thumb me up and follow and all that good stuff so you know when I'm live like I am right now. So, now that that's all out of the way. Oh, and if you want to call tonight, feel free. Number's there. So if you want to ask me something live on phone, you can do that too. So, Jennifer says, I used a very small amount on one piece of furniture. I'll use more this time. That's Coach Master says, I sprayed my house again. We are 1 month in. Paid for your tutorial, 90% of. Oh, yeah, I do have a tutorial. I never talk about that. That's something that it's fairly new. I put it up a while back. So if you go to any of my videos, and I did do this, for those that don't know, that those have been coming on here, I did the video you guys have been wanting me to do. Top 3 solutions for bed bugs in Canada. It's up. It's live now. So you guys can go watch that if you're in Canada or New York. I already got comments on it. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So if you go to the description of my video, so if you go to any of my videos like this is just an ad here, but if you scroll down, this is the description. They changed YouTube. It's a lot harder to find the description now. But if you click the Show More tab, this is my description. And there's a course, the very first link, and I think there's a link on my live stream tonight. But this is my course on eliminating bed bugs. I think it's like $12 or $13 or something, but it's like about an hour's worth of information on how to get rid of bed bugs on your own. I go over automobiles, and I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Let's do this. So this is my course. It's I've got 2 ratings, 5. Wow, I got 2 ratings, 9 students. I'm a teacher now. Look at that. So you can go here. Oh, it's $10. So you can get it for $10 right now. So I think it's worth it. But anyway, I made it. So don't listen to me. It says it's 36 minutes. It's got a test on it. It's all time, full lifetime access. So you can go back and watch. It's video taught. So it's got, Anyway, if you're interested, like I said, I'm no salesman. It's obvious I'm not a salesman. Because here I am, not really doing a very good job selling my course. Oh, hey, guess what? It's awesome. Go check it out. Wonderlust says, I bought your course. It was very helpful. Thank you. We have a bedbug sniffing dog coming to pinpoint where these demon bugs are hiding. Then I'll use what I learned on your course to apply Crossfire. Cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Post it. I'm in. I'm not sure what Jennifer's asking about. But the course is here. I don't know if it will let me post it in chat. I don't know. Let me do that. Control V. And then Alicia says, I sprayed Crossfire 3 weeks ago, sent living room furniture for reupholstery, and now I got to bite. What went wrong? If you upholstered your living room furniture after you treated with Crossfire, then that's what you did wrong. I actually just talked to a guy today. So I had a customer that I serviced about 2.5 to 3 weeks ago with Crossfire. And he had bed bugs show up yesterday. Actually, it might have been this morning. He sent me a picture of a bed bug that they found on the bed. And come to find out that after I left, they put mattress encasements on the mattress, on the box spring. And so the bed bugs, even though the mattress and the box spring have been treated for bed bugs, they covered them back up. And so any bed bugs that were living in the room that crawled out to crawl over the treated mattress and box spring couldn't, because the box springs were covered up with encasements. So I said, take that off, and the bed bugs should be able to crawl over the treated surface and die. So if you're one to use, mattress encasements and you're doing a Crossfire treatment, you need to just take them off and leave them off until you make sure that you've eliminated all your bed bug problems. Then if you want to put them back on, you can, but make sure the bed bugs are dead first. I sprayed Crossfire 3 weeks ago. Okay, and Alicia also. And so if you reupholstered your furniture after you treated, then you want to treat the reupholstered furniture again, because the new cloth that just got put on is not going to be treated with Crossfire. So that's what I was getting at. If you have replaced your mattress or replaced your bed, and that's another thing, I did a bed bug job today, and actually just a few hours ago, I just got home, say around like 5:30 or 6. It's about 9:30 now, so I haven't been home that long. But I did a job for a guy, and he had a pretty bad bed. He had a upholstered bed. So upholstery is the worst for a Crossfire treatment when you compare it to like a wooden bed or a metal bed, because the wooden beds and the metal beds, it's easier to get the chemical to go into the cracks and the crevices of the bed. If you have an upholstered bed, you may want to think about getting rid of your bed. And I hate to say that, because usually I'm the one that says, keep your bed, treat it with Crossfire, you'll kill your bed bugs. But the problem is that the pesticide wants to absorb into the fabric instead of go to where it actually needs. Because if you treat the crevice in a bed where the two pieces of wood join together, it will drain down into that crack, and you can actually treat into that crack and force that chemical into where the bed bugs are actually living without actually having to disassemble the bed. But if you have an upholstered bed, you're going to, almost every single time, it's almost required to actually disassemble the bed to treat where the bed bugs live, because they can squeeze in around all that upholstery and get up into the cracks and the crevices and live in there, and the chemical can't really get to where they are. So just so you know, if you have an upholstered bed and you're continuing to have problems getting rid of the bed bugs, that might be the problem, that you can't actually get the chemical to where it needs to go. So Kojin Master has asked me to request of all of my YouTube audience, if you have used Crossfire and you have been successful at using Crossfire, being able to get rid of your bed bugs, I would like you to leave a comment below this video when this video goes live, or on any of my videos on any of my channels having to do with bed bugs. If you could leave comments on those videos stating that you used Crossfire, how long it took you to get rid of your bed bugs, and if you were, as far as being successful, if you were or if you are struggling, because he's asked me to please ask you to comment on the video and let him know, because he's having issues getting rid of his bugs, and let him know where you were successful and if you were, and how like I said, how long it took you to actually be able to get rid of your bed bugs, because he's been really struggling trying to get rid of them. He, she, whoever, I'm not really sure if it's a boy or a girl. It's just Kojin Master kind of sounds like a boy name. But I just wanted to make sure you guys could kind of help him out, because he comes in here religiously almost every week. I see him here. He's on almost all my videos posting, asking. I'm going to empty my pockets here. I got a bunch of crap in my pockets. But he's been asking, if anybody can give him any help or point him in any direction, and just let him know how you're doing and maybe where he might be going wrong. I would really appreciate it, and he would too. So, because we're good. I got a really good community here. Almost 14,000 people, and typically every live stream I have 20 to 30 people that show up, and so I know that we can together work as a team and try to help him get rid of his bed bugs. So anyway, hopefully this will help. But he did ask me to say that on one of my videos a while back. I think it was last week. He asked if I could ask you guys, about success stories from you guys. So anyway, Tech57 asked if tempered FX and Gentrol were no good. So the problem with Gentrol, let's go look at the label for Gentrol, because that's one of the things that people have asked me a lot about. Oh, let's see. So Gentrol is an IGR, and there have been studies about Gentrol and why Gentrol does not work for bed bugs. There have actually been articles about it, written about it, explaining that it has to be mixed actually stronger than the label recommended dose to even get rid of bed bugs. Now, it does say, let's see what they say on the label. I don't use Gentrol. I don't have to use Gentrol. I never use Gentrol. I just use I mean, like, I'm just going on what I understand with IGRs and bed bugs is that IGRs are not effective. That I know that the label says it's for bed bugs, but it just is not effective. And this is what they have studied. Let's see. I think it was the PCT magazine article. Let's see. How does it say to mix it? Foaming. I've never used Gentrol, so I'm just trying to learn. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm probably being boring. Does it come in like a packet that you just mix the packet? Because I've never used it. I just know what other people have told me that it just doesn't work. Let's see what PCT Magazine has. PCT Magazine is pretty good. All right. This is, by the way, if you're a licensed technician, you probably have PCT Magazine because they will send these to you for free. If you're a licensed technician, you can get this. They send it to me. I get it every quarter, I think it is. It's like a quarterly magazine for pest control technicians. You'll get these. They'll explain. So like in the spring, you'll get one that talks about ants and termites. And then you might get one in the summer that talks about, you know, the coming onslaught of like stink bugs and ladybugs and stuff like that you're going to have to deal with. Let's see. Insect growth regulators have a long history of effective use against urban pests, including fleas, cockroaches, termites, stored product invaders, and mosquitoes. IGRs are attractive management tools because of their prolonged effect and low mammalian toxicity. So they're pretty, non-toxic to mammals. Not non-toxic, but low toxic. They also have novel modes of action, making them useful when combating resistant pest populations. Different types of IGRs have different modes of action. So blah, blah, blah. All right. Gentrol has, let's see, I know what it has in it. Is it going to get into bed bugs? Let's see here. Direct spray. Okay. Groups of 10 bedbug eggs from New York strain were sprayed directly with Precor at the labeled concentration, or 2 times the labeled concentration, 2 times for fleas. Gentrol at 2 times the labeled concentration for bed bugs, stimulating 2 applications as mentioned on the label. 3 times the recommended concentration. So this is 3 times the labeled recommended concentration. So this is the problem, is that when you have the label and the label says, do it this way, mix it this way, they're saying right here, they did a study where they actually mixed it 3 times the labeled dose, which is already against the law. But this is what they're doing. This is the research that they did. They said 3 times the recommended concentration for bed bugs or water alone. Each of the 5 treatments was applied to groups of eggs laid within the previous 24 hours, 1-day-old eggs, or 48 to 72 hours, 2 to 3-day-old eggs. Immediately after spraying, the eggs were transferred to a clean container and monitored daily for effects on hatching. Okay, so this is where they actually sprayed the bedbug eggs themselves. All right. The elevated 3 times the label concentration of Gentrol compared to water alone was also sprayed directly onto groups of 20 third instar New York 1 strain nymphs. The wetted third instar nymphs. And I'm sorry, if this bores you, please let me know if this is boring to anyone. But this is something that comes up on my stream almost every week about Gentrol. But the wetted third instar nymphs were then transferred to new containers, which third instar is about medium, like middle age, so to speak. They're not full-grown adults, but they're like the teenage version. They're not fully mature, but they're like halfway there. Those reaching adulthood were further examined for lethal or abnormal effects, refed and allowed to mate with an untreated adult for opposite gender. So what an IGR does is an IGR is supposed to interrupt their reproduction, the reproductive cycle. So it's a growth regulator. It regulates the growth of the bug, and it changes things like their sexual organs, or just basically the reproduction on a whole. Not always. Sometimes it's the way they grow, so they don't grow to a certain size, or they don't mature properly. That's the way IGRs work. So you typically add an IGR to a pesticide you're already using, like Precor or Temperate or something like that. So this is the study they did on IGR, on the IGR Gentrol, which is the top choice for IGRs in the pest control industry. So it says the second series of experiment. Okay, so hatching mortality were then recorded for 20 days. So it's not really giving. Let's see, the final experiment. So here we go. This is the bar graph. It shows that water only. What is this? What does this graph mean? Man, this is a horrible graph. What is the yellow? Okay, so the FD, let's see, final experiment. So what were the results? Let's see. No, okay, direct spray of eggs and nymphs. No adverse effects were observed when the bedbug eggs were sprayed directly with Precor or Gentrol, regardless of concentration applied or whether eggs were treated at 1 or 3 days of development. Hatching rates for eggs ranged from 95 to 100% and were statistically no different from spraying with only water. So that's the eggs. All right, that's directly spraying the eggs with Gentrol. It was just like they sprayed them with water. There was absolutely no results. Okay, adults continuously exposed to dry residues, no mortality, they didn't die, or effects on egg production or hatching occurred from confining adult bugs on any IGR treatments. So no IGR at all affected adults at all. None. Okay? No effect. And this is what I'm saying. This is why Gentrol is a waste of money. So if you are a pest control technician and you are using Gentrol, if you are just anyone using Gentrol to control bed bugs, it is ineffective. It does not work. Okay? Nymphs continuously exposed to dry residues. Neither IGR adversely affect nymphal development despite prolonged exposure to treated surfaces. Nymphs continued to grow, molt, and feed normally, even when confined from hatching to adulthood on Gentrol deposits 10 times higher than labeled concentration. So 10 times higher. So they actually mixed it 10 times the labeled dose, and it did not kill the bed bugs at all. It didn't change the way they reproduced. It didn't change anything. It did not work. So just so you know, this is the study that was done. This is a fascinating study. I read this like a while back, but I recommend going through and reading this study. In fact, I will copy it and I will paste it in the description below for anyone interested in reading that, or in the chat. This is why it's important to come to the chats and watch live Thursday nights when I'm here, because this is the kind of stuff we go over, and I don't always copy these links into the description later. So just in case you missed it, try to catch my live streams when I'm live every Thursday night. But anyway, let's get on with the chat and see what everyone has said, because I've gone over some, maybe semi-boring things. I find it fascinating. This is the kind of stuff I live for, is these studies and things that people actually do with the bugs. It's one of the things I really get out of my training, like every other year when I go in my training, and they show you all these studies and different things that they've done and how they figured out how this bug dies and why this chemical doesn't work anymore. And so this stuff just fascinates me. So I'm sorry. Sometimes I got to do something I really like when I'm out here chatting with you guys. So Jennifer says that when she used Crossfire, that the bug dies immediately. So I guess she's trying to help Kojin, like I said. Kojin Master says, I have a special request. Can I put Crossfire and leave it for 3 days and a bed bug walk over it and put it back in a bottle? Oh, they'll die if you do that. That's one of the ways they do their studies. So what they do when they do a lot of these studies with bed bugs is they actually take the bed bug and they put it in an area where it has to crawl over a treated surface. Maybe they treat the surface with like a piece of poster board, and they put it in a container with the bed bugs, and they leave them sealed in there, and they see how long it takes to kill the bed bug, or they'll take it and they'll expose it to the chemical like they did in this study, and then they'll put it in a jar by itself so it can't be continuously exposed to see how it reacts. And this is how they test pesticides to see which one's more effective and what bug it can actually kill. This is why it takes years to actually develop a pesticide and get a pesticide released to the general public or even to us as technicians, because they do rigorous testing on them to try to figure out exactly how it works on one insect over another. So Wonderlust said, I have an upholstered headboard and I love it. I don't want to give it up. Would it kill the bed bugs if I put a pest strip in it, wrap it in plastic, leave it out? No, that won't kill the bed bugs. Just treat the bed. All right, so you can treat the bed. Let me see if I can find the actual bed that I treated today. I cannot spell. It's late too. Upholstered headboard. Let's see. There we go. That's the one. I found it right away. Check it out. All right. This headboard. Oh, it's Wayfair. That's my wife buys a lot of Wayfair. So this headboard right here. You see these rivets? There were bed bugs living on every one of those rivets. And because it's cloth and it's wrapped, it just soaks the chemical. And not only that, the bed itself was like a box. See, this is just the headboard, but this was a solid, let me see, maybe this isn't the bed, it's similar, but the actual box for the mattress sat in the box. See, this is just headboards. But anyway, the box where it was like a corner like that, this was upholstered and this was upholstered, and they came together in a intersection, like a 90-degree, and in that crack, right, like in here, it was upholstered. And so when you tried to treat in that crack, like right in here, you can't get the chemical to go there. Now, you can treat really good on either side. So when the bed bugs crawl out of that crack, they will die, but it is not as easily to treat because, like I said, the upholstery just wants to suck up the chemical and not allow it to go into the cracks. So that's just one of the problems with an upholstered headboard. I'm not saying it's impossible to kill bed bugs on an upholstered headboard because I've done it. That actual specific bedboard, Andre just said that bedboard is too familiar. Yeah, you see those headboards in a lot of places. They're really fancy looking, you know, they're really popular. And so you go into a house that's got bed bugs, it's real common to find the bed bugs living around those rivets. It's not impossible to kill the bed bugs. You can kill the bed bugs. The thing is, the same general idea for a bed bug treatment that I do. So the way that I treat bed bugs, because I use Crossfire, it's a non-repellent, the bed bugs are going to come out and crawl to get to you. It's just I like to treat as many contact surfaces that the bed bugs can get, you know, the surfaces they can contact. I want to treat as many of those surfaces as possible. And when you've got the bed joining like that and you can't get into this little crack, it's just a spot I can't spray. I was always taught when I did general pest control that you treat as many cracks as you possibly can, because if you treat those spots, bugs can't live there. It's what makes you a successful cockroach exterminator. You know, if you go into a commercial kitchen and you take apart machinery, and I usually carry like a little pin screwdriver right in my pocket so I can like take the screws out and I can pull the things apart and I can treat in those cracks. I can put bait in there and I can do stuff to get to those roaches. If you do that, you're going to be more successful at getting rid of your cockroach infestations. And it's the same thing with a bed. If you have the ability to pull those pieces of the bed apart and treat in there without breaking the bed, then do that. You're going to be more successful at getting rid of your bed bugs, because the less places they have to hide, the better. And that's what makes you successful at killing bugs as an exterminator. Extermination is not just about going around and just spraying it willy-nilly on whatever you want. You actually treat into the cracks. You get your flashlight. I tell people the number one most important tool of an exterminator is not the sprayer. It's not the pesticide. It's your flashlight and a screwdriver. If you've got a pocket little light, like a little, what do they call it, a pin screwdriver, fits right in your pocket, that even if the best ones are the ones where you can pull out and turn it around, so you got a Phillips head on one side and a straight slot on the other side and a flashlight. Those are like the top two tools that you need in your arsenal as an exterminator always, because you will be able to get into those cracks. You can take that pocket screwdriver out. You can pull an outlet cover off of an outlet in a kitchen where the roaches might be going in around an outlet. You can do the same thing in a bedroom. Maybe the bed bugs are going in around an outlet, and you can pull that cover off and you can inspect and make sure that the bed bugs either are or aren't going there. And so I always advise people to get a screwdriver, get a screwdriver, and get a flashlight. But let's see. So, oh man, I talk a lot. Oh man, the chat has scrolled so much. Hi, do bird mites usually move when found in the house, like along baseboards? So bird mites are something that usually come from birds. So you typically have birds living in your home, whether it's in your attic or your gutters or somewhere on the house. Swallows, barn swallows, stuff like that that nest on the house, and things you need to try to, now, as long as they're not nesting, egg season and stuff, some birds are protected. So you need to make sure that you're not doing something that's against the law. But you want to, remove the birds specifically and make your house as unattractive to birds as possible. I just talked to a lady from Northern Virginia who had problems with pigeons, and I actually think she's got a problem with mites in her apartment. But the pigeons were getting in and they were roosting on her windowsill, and so she took the bird spikes and put them in the windows to try to make it as least inviting as possible to the birds. And you need to do that so that the birds won't come to your house. Now, pigeon mites, poultry mites, they can actually live for months, some even over a year, without a blood meal from a bird. They will eventually starve. They'll eventually die because they do need a bird to survive. But they can live. Basically starve to death for up to a year, and they can bite you in the meantime. And so they're not going to get what they need from you as far as the blood meal they need. They need a bird, but they can actually live in your apartment, in your home, for extended periods of time and drive you crazy. And if they ever do get the meal from a bird, then the infestation practically just never stops. It's just always there. And so you really do need to try to make your home as least inviting to birds as you possibly can. And that's gonna make your house less inviting to things like snakes and other animals and things that will eat birds. Snakes especially will eat birds. So you take the food source away and you eliminate other problems like the bird mites and the snakes and stuff like that come looking for birds. Victoria says, I've applied 2 applications of Crossfire on all of my baseboards throughout the house. I have not seen any bed bugs for at least a month, even though I had them in every room, including the kitchen. I've seen that. I've seen them around the toilet. I had a guy one time that he was actually sitting on the toilet, and a bed bug crawled out from under the toilet up his leg and tried to bite him while he was sitting on the toilet. So, yeah, I've seen some pretty heavily infested houses. Andre says, I've only come across... the only time I've come across any IGRs was during my initial training in Florida. We don't have them in Canada. I'll tell you what IGRs are good for. IGRs are good to kill roaches, but they're really good for fleas. Fleas, IGRs are really good, especially something like Nygaard. Nygaard is a very, very nice IGR for fleas. And roaches, too, by the way. Alicia says, I walk all over the house with socks. Can I bring bed bugs from room to room? Yes, especially if you're wearing socks, because they'll stick to your socks. Jennifer says, hey, we are learning. You're a great teacher. Well, thank you. Kojin says, I want to see the residual video, though. Oh, you want me to do a video on a residual? I don't know if I've got the resources to do something good like that. I mean, all I've got is this camera, this one right here. I got a GoPro, but and I do have some of the videos I've made for YouTube have actually been filmed with my GoPro. But I don't know if I've got the equipment for something like that. Andre says, I treated a seriously infested bedbug apartment this week with temperate. Can't wait to go back and see the results. Let's see. They have the closet type storage, wooden bed frames. Let's see. Inspect everything. You're getting me fired up. Wanderlust says, I was hoping the pest strip and the sun heat would kill the bed bugs. No, it won't kill them. It won't. I do not recommend the Niban strips. Don't use them. Don't use them. They don't work. They're not effective. They're just not. And the thing is, if they were to be effective, the way you make them effective, it's actually harmful to you. It's not worth it. You know, there are some pretty extreme things that people are willing to do to try to get rid of the bed bug problems. I have heard people tell me lots of things they've tried, and a lot of them are very dangerous just to your own health. And you know, bed bugs, they're annoying, they're a nuisance. I know that when you're lacking sleep, you kind of make bad choices and really bad judgment because you're exhausted, but don't do things that are harmful to your health, like using these strips that are supposed to be confined away from people because they create a toxic gas. You don't want to breathe it in. It's very bad for your health. Diatomaceous earth is bad for your health. I had a guy contact me from New York one time, said he was spraying his body with flea dip. Don't do that. It will kill you. You know, these are things people do in desperation. They just want to keep the bugs off of them so they can get a night's sleep. I understand what you're going through, but it's not worth dying for. It's annoying, but, you know, that's the way it is. Don't kill yourself over bed bugs. Haley says, please help my question about bird mites. I just watched your bird mite video, but I'm not sure if I'm seeing dirt on the baseboards or bugs. There's a screen on our... I don't know what that word is. I am a redneck. I've got to look that word up. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Paste and search. What is it? Pennsylvania. What is that? Anybody know what that is? Tell me what that is. Copulus? There's a screen on our copulus, and we just power washed the gutters. There are 3 wild turkeys. Okay, it's a circle with slats in the front of the house. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I know what it is now. Okay, there are 3. I didn't know that's what that was called. I always called that a louver vent, but I didn't know that's what it was called. There's a screen. Okay, there are 3 wild turkeys that roam our street. It's a circle. Okay, yeah. I've done that, John. I've done that before. I've done that. I'll admit it. I've done that. I've absolutely done that to get fleas off of me too. But there are things we do in desperation to keep us from infesting our own homes. But yeah, I've done that. I'll admit to that. Not going to repeat it in chat, but I've done that before. I don't think you're going to have bird mites. It doesn't sound like that's what you've got. It says that you're saying that it had some hornet nests in it and a small bird flew out. Oh, so if a bird has been in your attic... All right. So one of the things about those vents, your attic vents, is that they usually have a screen inside them to keep things like squirrels and birds and rodents and things like that out of your attic, and bugs and stuff like that, especially bigger bugs. The problem is that when a bird gets in it, so they will get in those vents, and bats will get in those vents, and squirrels will get in them, and their body weight is heavier than the screen can withstand. And so they will actually press against that screening, and the screening will fall in, or it will bend in, and they will actually be able to get past it. And if you have birds living in your attic, you have got to get the birds out of your attic, because you absolutely will have bird mites living in your house if you do not get the birds out of your attic. In fact, if you have a master suite with a bedroom with a exhaust fan in your your bathroom. If you have a bathroom attached to your master bath or master bedroom, and it has a vent to where we flip the light on, it turns the motor in the fan in order to exhaust fan out like the hot air and stuff like that from in your bathroom. If you have a bird living in your attic, the mites will get into those vents, and every time you turn the fan on, it will actually blow the mites down into the house. And so you want to make sure you keep the birds and stuff like that out of your house, because they will attract bird mites. Now, if your house gets infested with bird mites, that doesn't mean that, it is a problem. But if you get the birds out, seal them out, get rid of them, bird mites will eventually starve. And you can treat your house. There are pesticides you can treat your house with, like I've talked about in my bird mite video. If you treat your house with those pesticides after you've eliminated the bird mites will die off. Usually within 3 to 6 weeks, all the bird mites are dead. You want to treat about once every 2 weeks, and that way you keep a nice strong concentration out in your cracks and crevices. And when I say cracks and crevices, the places you want to really target if the bird mites are coming from the attic, like attic accesses. If you've got like the little push-up little piece of like drywall or whatever, or a piece of wood, just push that up, treat around the rim of that so they can't really crawl down in and around your attic access. Treat around all crown molding around in the rooms, because a lot of times the sheetrock is very roughly put together, and so because they're going to put crown molding over top of it, right? So there's like a hole behind the crown molding, and so the bird mites can come down around that. So treat around your crown molding. You don't have to do a lot. It doesn't really take very much to kill mites because they're super tiny anyway. You just need to make sure you have a miticide, and I think I actually have a pesticide linked on that video. If let's see, if you go over here, let's turn off this Wayfair and that one too. And you go, let's see, to my Amazon page, and you scroll to, let's see, I think I've got bird mites on here. Let's see. Let's close that. So this is tick control, bed bugs, stink bugs, ant control, spider control. Okay, carpenter bees, springtail, bird mites. There it is. So let's click the bird mites. And it's not listed anymore. Oh, no, there it is. Suspend. Yeah. So that's the pesticide I actually found. And the reason I recommend Suspend is because Suspend won't just kill bird mites. It'll kill lots of other bugs in the house too that may be causing you discomfort, like spiders and stuff, because spiders will bite you, and you may not ever realize you have spiders, especially ones that hunt for food. A lot of times people don't even know they have them, and you'll go into a house to do pest control, and you'll find them actually under the bed. You'll find them like behind dressers and stuff where they're hiding back there, and they're actually hunting or jumping spiders, and they're not actually making a web. They're not making not every single spider makes a web. A lot of spiders actually hunt for food. And so this will help with your spiders too. So that's why I use Suspend instead of an actual miticide. Now you can find miticides. Miticides do exist that you could use for things like bird mites, spider mites, clover mites, and all kinds of different mites. But I recommend this because it works for other pests that might be bothering you too. You might not have mites. You might have super teeny tiny spiders or even ants. And this will help kill those problems too. So, well, I went too far. There we go. Let's see. Will an exterminator come look at the circle with the slats, or do I call a vent person? If you can't tell, I use an exterminator. I mean, I do it. I go out and look at people's louver vents all the time. All the time I look at them. If you have pets, so John says 6 to 8 weeks they'll die out, because the bird mites have to have a bird. Now, if you have a pet parrot or a parakeet or a macaw or something like that, then yeah, they can live with the birds. And if they're living with your birds, if you have a pet bird and your bird gets bird mites, you almost have to take the bird to a vet. You have to be very careful using pesticides around birds, because most pesticides are just tested around mammals, not around birds. So you don't really want to expose your birds to pesticides because they're not mammals, and it may kill your bird. So if you have problems with bird mites attacking your bird, you want to take your bird to the vet. If you've got like I said, like a parakeet or a parrot or macaw or birds, owl. I don't know. I don't think you can have an owl, but anyway, you want to take them to I don't know. Do they have bird vets? I guess they have bird vets. I guess they would. People have pet birds. You might even be able to ask your your pet store. A lot of the people that work at like PetSmart and Petco and stuff, they actually are pretty knowledgeable people, especially the people that take care of the birds. And they may have a solution for your bird mites if you have a pet, like I said. And even if you don't, you can ask them. You could say, well, what do you do when your parrot cages get infested with bird mites? How do you get rid of them? And that's a really good solution. In fact, I might do that myself. That's actually a really good idea. I might go in and ask the pet people, how do you get rid of your bird mites when they get in the cage? Because that's something that does happen. In fact, there's a mite that attacks snakes that snakes get that can cause them to molt their scales and stuff. It makes their scales fall off. And that's a really common thing too. So because I actually have a customer, well, I used to have a customer that raised boa constrictors, and I used to have to treat around the snake enclosures in order to keep the mites out from the snakes, because they will. And then you can't take the snake to a pet show, because then the snake mites that are in with that snake will actually spread to other cages there that aren't even theirs. They're not even, so you have to make sure you keep the mites out of the snake cages. I used to treat an enclosure for snakes years ago. In fact, I didn't actually do the treatment. My dad used to do it, and it was at Pet City in Roanoke. They've since closed down, but when they were still open, I remember they had a boa constrictor. It was like an anaconda. It was huge snake. It was like 10, 11 feet long. It was a gigantic snake, and it was in its own room, like the size of my basement right here. It was a big room, and it was a whole solid glass window, and my dad would go in there and have to treat around that snake's enclosure to keep the mites and the roaches out of there. And it was crazy, because I used to think that snake was going to eat my dad. I used to have to watch it. I was like, that snake's going to eat him? I was like 7. I didn't know any better. It would have probably eaten me, but it never did eat my dad. But anyway, I've seen some pretty interesting places being in pest control all my life. Everybody needs pest control at some point. It's just, that's the way it is. Somebody's always going to need pest control at some point. Oh, I'm tired. Everybody else work hard today? I've been working really hard today. Today and yesterday and tomorrow. I have to drive all the way to Northern Virginia, and then I have to drive through Richmond Sunday. I'm working all weekend long, and then I get to start it all over Monday, and I get a couple of hours tonight to get some sleep, and then I got to start it all over tomorrow. So this is the way it is this time of year, but I live for this time of year. This is my favorite time of the year because I'm busy all the time. I always work and stay out, and I like it. I like killing bugs for people. In fact, that bed bug job I did today, I told the guy, I said, I love bed bugs. He's like freaking out, terrified of these stupid bed bugs he's got all over his bed, and he's just like really upset about it. And I'm like, oh, I love these things. I can kill these things. This is not a problem for me at all. And he's like, well, good, because everything I've read on YouTube tells you that you can't kill bed bugs, but I like to. Kata says, hello, Jason. Well, hello. How are you? Hope you're doing all right. Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. What do y'all got planned for this weekend? I camped last weekend. I was in the middle of nowhere last weekend. If you ever get a chance to camp in Virginia, the James River campground is fantastic. I went there last week, and it was pretty chilly, 44 degrees, camped in a tent, roughing it. And I told my wife, I did it 2 nights in a row, and I was like, I don't think I could do this again. It's just too cold. So Jennifer says she ignored my recommendation for the spray tank. She got a cheapo. It came loose and sprayed everywhere. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with those cheap little plastic sprayers. They're really bad. I don't like them. But I've used one. There's one at Lowe's that actually I would recommend, but I wish I could remember the type of a good type of a sprayer that I used, but it would work for a do-it-yourselfer. And it has ability to change from a fan spray to a pin stream, but you actually have to take the whole tip off and put a new tip on. It's not like a multi-tip But that one was really good. And if I can remember what that is, I'll give a link on this specific live stream later. So if I can remember, I'll tell you what, if you subscribe to my channel, if you go over to, let's see, Akers Pest Control LLC, right here, and you scroll down to, you subscribe, then on the community tab right here, this is a chat. Now, I put out this one, I still have a live stream for tonight, but it may be a little late. This was last week. So the live stream I did last week, I didn't actually get on until 10 o'clock. So I tried to get in here early tonight so I can be here earlier for everybody because I was so late getting in last time. But I try to keep people up to date. If I ever find a cheap, see, there's a Crossfire's on a pretty good sale, $36. And so I linked it right here. But now I think it's $38. See, it went up $2. So it's a little more expensive now. But I try to keep people up to date on what's going on. See, there's a bedbug picture I took on a mattress, you know, and I like to kind of chat this way. And when I get that link, it's at Lowe's. It's a certain sprayer that's actually at Lowe's. I will post it in this chat right here. Or if you follow Discord, I do have a Discord link below in the description. If you get on Discord, I post stuff there too. And I'll post a link there when I find it. But it's at Lowe's. I know she bought it at Lowe's. I have to go find the box. The box is in the other room somewhere. But my wife bought it. So what we had to do when we bought this house last year, we had to strip the, what do they call it? The plaster. We had to strip the plaster off the ceiling because they had that special, like the drop ceiling kind of stuff that it looked like, I don't know, like that spackle stuff on the ceiling. And so they scraped all that off. Well, the way you do it is you mix yourself like water and vinegar in like one of those little spray bottles, and you have to spray it on the ceiling. And we just got a cheap plastic one for Lowe's. But I used it, and I was like, oh, this is actually a really good sprayer. I could recommend this to people on my YouTube channel. But it's like a 22, 23, 4, maybe 25 bottle gallon sprayer. It's cheaper than a B&G. I wouldn't use it all the time. But to do like a single or maybe even a 2 or 3 Crossfire treatment would probably work just fine, and it doesn't really leak. It's actually really a really good sprayer. So best way to get rid of fruit flies. They make those little bags for your bananas. The best way to get rid of fruit flies is to wash your fruit when you bring it home. Because what happens is when the fruit is sitting out in the at the grocery store, now it's already been, you know, washed and everything like that, but then it's brought into the grocery store and they sit it on the shelf there, and the fruit flies fly in through the door and they land on the fruit and they lay eggs on the fruit. And so oranges, grapefruits, bananas, apples, you know, even if you get like apples in a bag, take your apples out of the bag, wash all your apples before you set them in like a fruit bowl or anything like that. Wash them or keep them in the refrigerator. That's what I recommend. And there's actually, so if, now this is old. So I have an Instagram. Let me see if I can pull that up, because I recommend this to people too sometimes. This is actually what I show people. Let's see, if I go to, let's go to my videos and let's click one of these. I might have my Instagram list. I might have my Instagram list listed here. Let's see. I don't know if my Instagram is on here or not. Let's see, TikTok, my books I wrote, Patreon, Discord, my website. No, I don't have Instagram. Let me see if I can remember what my Instagram website is. I don't honestly know. Instagram. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So this is the one. Let's see if I can pull this up over here. So this is my Instagram. I've got this video on how to inspect a bed. And then I've got some pictures of box elder bugs, a spider, grasshopper. That's a bagworm, ladybug. But if you go down, all the way down, there's a mouse. And these are all pictures I've taken. There's my son at wintergreen. We had to do a wintergreen job one day. There's a bed bug on my thumbnail to give people an idea of the size comparison. This was one of the worst bed bug jobs I ever did right here. But I've got some things. Oh, come on. What is this? I don't want to log in. I want to show people this picture that I need to show. It won't let me show you because it's making me log in. Let me log in. Let's see if it'll let me. Let's log in with Facebook. I'm trying. What? Come on. There we go. All right. So let's see if it'll work now. Can't let you guys see my passwords. All right, so let's scroll down here. All right, there. So that, I made this. I made this little cup. That may be kind of hard to see it with the way I've got my phone number and stuff up there. But this is a fruit fly trap that I made. This is and I'm showing you this so you don't have to get Instagram. Some people don't do Facebook. Some people don't do Instagram. But this is the picture of actually. So what I did was I took a glass, an actual glass, and I took a funnel. I made a funnel out of paper and put it in. So the narrow end is about 2 inches above the liquid. So you don't want it to touch the liquid. You want it to be about 2 inches above the liquid. And it's a very narrow hole, big enough for a fruit fly to fit through. But then you seal this rim right here with like packing tape, like a cellophane tape, like a, well, let me see if I've got it. I keep a thing handy, not like regular Scotch tape, but the extra wide tape, you know, but like that. And you seal around the rim of the glass and the funnel. So you're making a seal. So then you pour a little bit of apple cider vinegar or wine. Wine works the best, but if you don't have wine, apple cider vinegar or beer will work. And you pour it in, and it will go, and make sure it all shakes down so you don't have any bubbles or anything like that on the funnel. But the liquid will actually attract the fruit flies into the funnel. And because there's a little bit of residue there, they'll go down, they'll fly down into the little glass jar down here, and they're not smart enough to go back up the funnel. Instead, they go to the glass because it's clear and they see the light. And so they'll travel up the glass here and they'll get stuck in they can't get out because there's tape here. And so that actually works really well. So if you sit these over near your bananas or, you know, wherever you have your fruit sitting out, you can set these out and it absolutely does work to trap fruit flies. And what you can do is you can do this exact same thing, but use like a plastic water bottle. Cut the lid off and turn it upside down, you know, because a water bottle has got like, let me use this little air thing. So a water bottle is tapered right here. And so you'll cut this part off, turn it upside down. So you create your funnel with the water bottle itself, seal around the rim with that tape the same way, just like right here. And that way, when you get it full of fruit flies, you just throw it away and make a new one. So that's one option, and it actually works. It works extremely well. I had the hardest time with fruit flies in a bar. I used to service this bar, and because they're serving alcohol, they have a horrible time with fruit flies. Fruit flies love fermented fruit, and alcohol is made from fermented fruit. So they had it was impossible to keep the fruit flies out. I had fly machines scattered in strategic little places, and it just would not work. But I took and made that fruit fly trap, and I sat it under the bar, and within a week, all the fruit flies were dead. All of them were gone. It worked amazingly well. So I recommend that. And it's cheap. You can do that. It's really cheap. So Carpenter bees are crazy this year, and I was wondering if there is a foam pesticide I could fill the hole they make. So I recommend using a liquid pesticide, spraying in the hole. There's many pesticides out there labeled for bees, and so just treat in the hole for the carpenter bee. Wait until late summer to seal the hole because they're just going to try to bore their way back out as soon as you seal it up. So go ahead and treat the hole. Wait until like, I don't know, August, September, and then seal the hole back up. Next year, when they come back to the house, treat again because they return to the house every spring to drill new holes. And so just make sure you treat the house every spring. And usually you can eliminate your carpenter bees doing that. I actually think I have a video on carpenter bees, I think. But like I said, if you go to my channel and just search my videos, you should be able to find it. Jennifer Lego says, swallowing my pride to shell out the bucks for quality. Your Amazon page, of course. Oh, yeah, you can, but you don't have to buy it there. They're cheaper. I actually recommend people go to Do Your Own Pest Control to buy B&Gs if you're going to buy a B&G because they're cheaper, and there's no reason that you should pay $600 for a B&G on Amazon. They're outrageously expensive, and you can save half that if you buy it on Do Your Own Pest Control, which I'm working to become affiliate with Do Your Own Pest Control, but I just don't have time. I don't have time to sit here and fill out paperwork. I have to kill bugs. All I ever do is kill bugs, and then I get an hour to an hour and a half every week that I can sit down and take it easy and talk with you guys about bugs. Otherwise, I'm working all the time. In fact, my work phone, which is right here, I have it on mute. I don't even answer it during my live streams. I take it easy. I sit here and I talk to you guys. So, I like to take it easy. I don't want to work all the time. Well, I do. I like to. But, I like to sit down and take a break sometimes. So John says, what are your thoughts on Ecovia? I think that's how that's pronounced. Let's see what that is. I'm not sure what it is. Let's see. Paste and search. Ecovia. Bio-based ingredients and materials. So what is this? Natural and organic insecticides. Let's see. Ecovia EC. What is in it? I probably don't like it because it's an eco pesticide. The eco pesticides are usually trash. It's rosemary oil, thyme oil. Yeah, probably wouldn't use it. It's got wintergreen oil, isopropyl. Yeah, I don't think I would use it, honestly. I mean, this is the problem with using things with essential oils, is they cause eye and skin irritation, and they are, it says right here, avoid contact with eyes, skin, and clothing. Protective eyewear, nitrile or other chemical-resistant gloves are recommended, particularly when handling concentrate. Applicators should wash hands before eating, drinking, which is normal with any pesticide. But it's just, I just don't like them. I know they have a loose label and they allow you to do lots of things, but if they don't kill the bugs, then they're worthless. And if you're having to apply them all the time because they wear out and they don't last, they don't have a residual, not like a pesticide does, they're not viable in business, not in actual application. I mean, yeah, if you're charging your customer to come out to their house every 2 weeks to reapply, that gets expensive after a while. And I understand if you've got like an organic farmer or a place where you need to use something like this, then that would be an option. But the problem is you're having to constantly go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So it's just obnoxious, and you're looking at your customer. All right, you spray this stuff, and it smells horrible. It smells horrible, and you're like, no, it's fine, it's safe, and it may be, but it's miserable. And you're leaking out of every hole in your face, and you got snot running down your nose, and you got tears in your eyes, and you're just absolutely miserable using this stuff. And then you're trying to explain to your customer that it's perfectly safe, and it's non-toxic, it's all organic, it's great, but it's just miserable. It's absolutely horrible. I hate this stuff. I don't use it. I don't use it for that reason, because while it's safe and it's got it's a 25B product, that's all fine and good, but it's not something that I would use unless I were forced to. I mean, if it's all I had, then maybe, but there are other options that are better and more effective. And people are so terrified of pesticides but they don't. It's really because they're not informed about how the pesticides work and how they're actually not that toxic anymore. A lot of pesticides, you know, what people fail to realize is just because a pesticide is marketed organic, it doesn't mean it's not toxic. Because if it kills something, it's toxic. You need to understand that pesticides are designed to kill other creatures. Now, most of your neonicotinoids are non-toxic to mammals. They don't actually hurt mammals. They were unable to, I mean, like with Crossfire, the only way they could kill an animal was when they forced it to breathe it in. Otherwise, they had no effect. It did not hurt the animal whatsoever. Ingesting it didn't hurt them. Skin irritation didn't cause skin irritation. Didn't cause mortality, except when they were forced to breathe it into their lungs. That's when it killed them. Otherwise, it didn't kill them at all. And things like Samari and some of the other ones out there don't even cause that problem. So it's like they're very safe to use around mammals, which me and you, that's what we are. And so people think because it's a chemical, it's automatically going to kill them. And that's just, it's a stigma around pesticides that needs to be erased. We don't have chloridane anymore. We don't have Durazban. We don't have diazinon. They're starting to slowly monitor and eliminate even synthetic pyrethroids. You know, the types of pesticides that are available to the market now are, they're completely different than what they were just 10 years ago. And I imagine in the next 10 years, it'll be a completely different market again. It's just, it's constantly evolving into a safer world. But the pesticides are getting more and more sophisticated and even better at doing what they need to do. So I try to educate my customers. I have a few customers that just don't want pesticides sprayed in their home or around anybody, and that's fine. But, you know, if I found that when you educate people and you explain to them, though, this is how the pesticides that I use, this is how they work, this is why I use what I use indoors, this is why I use what I use outdoors, then for those people, they usually are perfectly fine as long as they understand what you're doing and that you're not going to harm them or their children or their pets. So thanks so much, Jason. I saw your video, Carpenter Bees, How to Control Them, 2019. I will watch it later. Yeah, I've got videos that are old. I've been on YouTube for 5 years. They're still viable. They're still good videos. I just haven't remade them. They tell you that you should remake your videos about once every other year or every year or so that you keep your content fresh. But, I mean, how many times can I say spray Crossfire for bedbugs? How many times can I spray Alpine WSG for ants and bees and stuff? How many times do I need to say these things? You know, I guess I need to make a new video, but it's pretty much the same thing I've already said, repeated over and over and over again. In the last 5 years, pesticides haven't changed that much. Although I did start using a new one called Samari last month. For anybody that's interested, it's amazing. It's really good. It's really good. But I'm actually going to do a product review on Samari for anybody interested. That's going to come up eventually when I get a chance, typically in the winter when I have more time off. Actually, the videos that I made for bedbug control, which, like I said, on my let me see, what's this right here, on my bedbug thing, my what is it called? Whatever this is, my teaching, my class, whatever. And I'll link it again in the description too. But on this actual page, I've got, so let me show you. I don't know if I can actually show you without signing in. Let me see if I can sign in real quick. If it'll let me. I think I can show you my side. There we go. So this is what it looks like when you actually turn it on. Let me see if I can turn off my screen cam real quick. Let me see. How do I turn off the phone number? There, that's gone. And then the video capture. There we go. So this is what my course looks like. So if you go here, you can actually see that I've got all these videos posted. And this is stuff that really I don't have on YouTube. But I've got a living room inspection, a living room treatment, bedroom inspection, bedroom treatment. So this is something you can use even as a technician, as like, you know, if you're interested in just furthering your education on how to eliminate bed bugs. But I've got miscellaneous areas to treat while inside, the baseboards, windows, doors, crown molding, how to treat those areas. I've got vehicle bedbug prep, how to actually prep your vehicle for bedbug control, and then the vehicle treatment, which is the last video. And so I can add to this. I actually was thinking about adding a few videos that like how to mix Crossfire and how to mix, because this is all based on Crossfire, this whole thing. And I've got my intro right here, and this is the bedroom I actually serviced. This is the one I treated. And so it's 36. They tell you have to have a video. It has to be at least 30 minutes long. My videos total, the tutorial, all this stuff is like total 36 minutes. I can't make, I find that the videos that I do, I can't, like, I try to speed them up, and I don't want to waste your time. I don't want you to sit there and have to watch like hours of tutorial videos on how to do a bedbug job. I assume that if you can watch me and learn, and also the videos all have voiceover, so it's filmed, but it's not like in my car. So like if I film in my car, you've got background noise and it's not as good of a video. So what I did was I filmed the whole thing, and then I sat in a quiet room and I voiced over everything. It's definitely ASMR if you're into that kind of thing. But it's I think it's just really, it's a very good system. I really like it. I think it's great. I was really happy when I finally got this together, because I've been wanting to do a course for you guys for like a year, and I just finally was able to do it. But I actually took my vacation. So I went on vacation to Florida last year, actually in January. And I took my B&G with me, and I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact that I'm in Florida and I've got this room and no one's ever used it, and I'm just going to do a bedbug treatment for free for these people. And so I went through and I did a total bedbug treatment. I didn't actually spray. Well, I did a little bit, but I didn't spray much of anything, honestly. But they didn't have bedbugs. I wouldn't stay there if they did. But I show how to treat a bed, how to treat the house, how to treat the living room and everything. And I actually put my back out making this course, because I did all the work myself, and I should have had my son in there helping me. I even talk in the video about if you're going to do something like this, be sure you have help. And here I am doing it all by myself like a stupid person. But anyway. Thanks so much, Jason. Saw your video. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I got a headache when I use Evoca. Yeah, I know. It's awful stuff. I hate that stuff. So let me tell you about the first time I ever used eco-smart, eco-friendly, pesticides. I was probably either early 20s or late teens, because I've had my license since I was 17. So that's like almost 23 years I've had my license. And so it's been a long time. But my dad actually used to exterminate for a guy that sold these eco-friendly pesticides, the 32FB, whatever. He used to sell these. And he's like, look, they're the next greatest thing in pest control. You can use them for roaches. You can use them for spiders. And they're safe. You can use them around people's pets and everything. It's not going to hurt anybody. So he's like, yeah, I'll try them. So he bought 12 cans of the aerosol. Now, this is aerosol. And anyone that uses aerosol knows it gets into air everywhere. And it's miserable. And you breathe it in and you can't avoid it. Like fly machines and stuff like that have it. And you just can't avoid the stuff. So we were using it as a flushing agent, because that's what it even said on the can, that you can use it to try to flush out German cockroaches. And so we had the little tubes, like a WD-40 tubes for them and everything. And we used it, and I used half a can. I think that's all we used of the entire box was a half a can, because it's not that it didn't kill the bugs. It didn't do a very good job. But not just that, but it made you so miserable, because like I said, it gave you headaches, it made your nose run, it made your eyes water. It was really miserable. And the customer, the 2 or 3 houses we used it in, the customers were like looking at you like, this guy's lying to me. This stuff is going to hurt me. I don't trust him. at all, because you're like, one of the reasons you use these eco-friendly pesticides is because people don't want to leave their house. They don't want to up and leave while you're spraying for bugs. And you tell them, you need to be in the other room while I'm doing this because you can't be in here while I'm spraying around you. And, oh, well, why? Is it going to kill me? Is it going to hurt me? Why is that? And those are the kind of questions you get. And you're like, no, it's not going to hurt you. I can't really control what you do or whether or not you're going to walk through the room after I'm done or not. I can't control that. When I leave the house, what are people going to do? I don't know. I can only tell them, don't do this, don't do that, don't go in the room until it's dry, But people are going to do what people are going to do. So you use these eco-friendly pesticides because they can be used around people, but they make you miserable. And so it's like they don't believe you. When you're leaking out of every hole of your face and you're miserable and it's horrible, they're like, oh, this stuff's awful. And if you've ever actually used it, it's awful. I hate it. But anyway. I've been on here for about an hour and a half almost. I gotta go. My wife has told me I really shouldn't be on here for more than an hour tonight because I gotta get up really, really early tomorrow. I gotta drive all the way to Northern Virginia because I gotta fight bedbugs over the weekend. So you guys have a really great night. I really appreciate it. I have not edited a video. I've got one for next week about pest control, about the differences between like monthly contracts, quarterly, and bi-monthly, and what you should do if you actually wanted to hire pest control. It may not be as interesting as some of my bedbug videos, but that's what I've got recorded, and so I just need to edit it and put it up, but I haven't had the chance. I've been swamped with work. So you guys have a really great day. With 13 people in chat, I'm confused why I got ignored. Thanks anyways. Unsubscribing. I didn't ignore anybody. Pagan Roots. Did Pagan Roots ask me a question? So now he's all upset and butthurt. Let me see. By the way, Crossfire eliminated my bedbug problem. Thank you so much. But you're unsubscribing, but I helped you get rid of your bedbugs. I don't understand. That's something I don't understand. So you're mad. With 13 people in chat, I'm confused why I got ignored. Okay, well, I'm sorry I have offended you, but, I guess thank you for getting rid of your bedbugs. I helped you. So you guys have a great night. You can't keep them all happy. I try my best. But there is a lot to read. Talk to y'all later. Bye. If I can get my screen to work.